putting us, or is conditioning us to be unable to differentiate between haqq and batil. Okay, listen to what I mean. If you keep watching what is fiction for so many years, because this is all acting, so you go years after years after years, sometimes watching a scene that you think is just them inside of a room, but it's 50 people on that set watching that scene that you think is just you and them. So what this does is it conditions us. This is high-tech psychology. It conditions us to be unable to detect what is haqq, what is true, and what is false. So now, 20, 30 years of watching fiction, now they put something on the news and say, the Muslims did such and such, and you believe it right away. This is Hollywood. They can put in front of you whatever they want. So now they can just show Sheikh Badajas in some type of situation, and then we believe it. I knew it. Wallahi, I knew it. That's how we are. Because we don't give a husn al-dhan. We don't have the best thought. No, because it came off the television. Because we've been watching TV for so long, now it's just automatic. We just assume. So Sheikh Badajas, all these years he's been listening and giving the khutbahs and the Quran, and then next thing you know, they show him coming out of a club. I saw something in him that last time he gave. I knew it. You see, this is how we do. And this is how, and they fool the Muslims. And we begin to start blaming each other, saying, these brothers did such and such. They have masks on their heads. They show you cut, and you believe that it was Muslims. It could have been anybody behind the mask. But we don't have an ability to differentiate. Number two, one last thing, is the ability to pull out of you from fiction real emotions. So here it is, you're watching a movie, and next thing you know, tears coming to your eyes. This is not real. She didn't die. That's deep psychology. To be able to use something that's not real and pull out of you real emotions. Now you crying. You look at your wife, what are you crying for? He died. It's not real. So we don't want anything to have that kind of control over us. And Allah.
SubhanAllah, when the Quran is read, we do not.
You want to talk about the TV again? One more part about the TV, actually, as a matter of fact.
And internet.
Well, there is no big difference really right now when it comes to TV or to internet. The whole idea is just to be in a cyber world. It's outside the real world. As a matter of fact, the subject of the TV, one of the things that the worst utilization of TV for parents is to use the TV as an electronic babysitting. That's it. So basically, most parents, what they do, whether they're mothers or fathers, eventually what you do when you get in trouble with your kids, or you just the kids are being disturbing and so on, so you suddenly immediately just turn the TV on, put the kids on the side, and that would be it. So eventually it's a babysitting, free babysitting. That's the worst thing they do. In order to minimize right now the use of TV and internet at home, if you have cable, the first thing you need to do is to cancel it. Well, I have it for the internet. Fine. Just don't hook it to the TV then. Just keep it into the router and that's it. If you have a satellite, cancel. If you have any prescription to anything besides those actually channels flying in the air, just cancel it. By doing so, the TV becomes boring for the kids, as much as it would be for you too. So therefore, there will be nothing interesting to watch anyway. This is to start minimizing the time they watch TV. Besides, the TV, when you don't have actually the TV except for the air channels, and they have a specific time, what they call it family time and children times, even though it's not that family time for us though. But it's in their standard, it's called family time. Still need to be careful with that. So once you cancel TV, it becomes now less interesting for your family and your kids to watch. Second, you need to bring, to increase the number of books and reading material that are available at home. It's very important that you bring books. You take your kids to the library. You take your kids to the Islamic libraries if you have an Islamic library over here. Give them alternative. Kids, if they don't grow up reading as they're young, They will not enter in that when they grow older. Your kids, same thing. You make sure that you read for them. If you don't read with your kids, they don't think that's interesting, because if they're the only one who's going to be reading, why adults don't read anyway? So it must be something boring when you grow older. When they start growing older, they start quitting actually the habit of reading. You need to be with them consistently, inshallah ta'ala, on what they read and how to read and when to read. So keep considering with them, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. When it comes to the internet, the same thing. I do not, just like the Sheikh mentioned, don't put the TV in a place that you cannot see. Don't put it in their rooms, don't put it in their in your bedroom either. Instead, you put the computer somewhere where you can see what they're watching, what they're doing. Even if they're going to be doing homework. So in this case, they do the homework downstairs, and then you go to their rooms to finish their homework. Eventually, keep the computer where you can monitor. And always put a block on the internet where any content that's considered harmful to the children, that it blocks it right away, and you have the password and control over it. You guide what your kids are watching. Sometimes kids randomly, they go and they just, by mistake, or they pick, for example, even addresses from TV ads, sometimes from a magazine, sometimes from wherever they go actually. It's very dangerous. Sometimes you'll be driving on the highway, and there's that huge billboard that advertises for Gentleman's Club or something like this. Kids, they're smart. They see the www dot, they know that something has to do with the internet. They copy it in their minds, and out of curiosity, they want to see what is that. So they get into troubles because of this. So you make sure you have the block into this, and you will be the person who guide them to what they watch on the internet. You put in their favorites, for example, in box, what are the websites that they can watch. Take them there, inshallah, until they grow older. As they grow older, they have, alhamdulillah, they have already been designed to be careful what they watch and what they do and what they see. But the thing is that when you read actually even studies, there's always comparing between watching TV and reading. The more TV you watch, the less reading you will do. And the more reading you do, the less TV you will watch. Build the habit of reading, of writing, enjoying literature better than TV, inshallah, or internet. Wallahu a'lam.
And actually, one thing that I have done and helped a great deal before I removed the cable and how I reduced the use of TV. And alhamdulillah, TV comes on maybe a couple hours a week. So on Saturday morning before the kids' shows, you notice any home you enter around the living room, what is it centered around? The TV. You'll find the TV gets the biggest entertainment center in the middle, or the biggest TV hanging on the wall, and all of the chairs are around it, like a theater. So I have my TV in a corner somewhere. I have very uncomfortable chairs where you have to sit in. If you want to watch the TV, you have to pull one of the dining table chairs and sit in it like if you're sitting at school where it's full, so most of the kids want to get out of it. So make it very uncomfortable. Seriously, if my son wants to sit down and watch the TV, he has to sit like this. So not much of, like half an hour, his neck starts hurting and he turns it off. So make it uncomfortable. Don't make it the center of your home. That's what I'm saying. It is the center of our home. Okay. Since Rasulullah ﷺ did not have a mother to deal with while he was married to his wives, how do you get a good example for exactly how to balance the rights between wife and mother? What about when they both want the same thing from the man, obviously, and we don't have enough, obviously, as by a man?
Bismillah. It seems